Why this program works for cholesterol. This program works for cholesterol because it addresses the cause of high cholesterol levels in your body. Contrary to everything you've been told over the last how many decades, high cholesterol levels are not caused by a lack of exercise, eating foods high in cholesterol, a lack of supplements like red yeast rice, genetics, bad luck, and all those other things that you've been told. It's why that hasn't worked either. More and more people are dying of heart attacks than ever before, at younger ages than ever before. The cause of cholesterol, high cholesterol levels, is uneliminated acidity in your blood. This program heals your bowel and eliminates the acids, and as a result, you will see your cholesterol levels go down. Maybe more importantly, not only will you see your blood cholesterol levels go down, but the dangerous cholesterol, the stuff that's in the arteries, the stuff that kills you, will also go down. There are some programs that lower blood cholesterol, but increase the levels in the arteries, and that is incredibly risky. But more on that in a minute. Remember, when acids enter into your bowel, you should have a healthy bowel to eliminate them. Hardly anyone does. When those acids go into your bowel, they get reabsorbed up into your bloodstream. At some point, your liver, when it becomes weak, will react to those acids, and in reaction to them produce cholesterol. 80% of the cholesterol in your body is made by your liver. We've known that statistic for a long time. The scientists have. That liver, or your liver, makes more cholesterol to protect you against those uneliminated acids. If you didn't have the excess acids in the first place, you wouldn't have the cholesterol made in the first place. This program heals your bowel. We're using bowel strength or probiotics, like unique healing probiotics, so that when the acidity from diet, stress, pollution, the stuff that's stored in your body moves into your bowel, it is bound up, formed into a stool, and excreted, so it can't go into your blood in the first place. Consistently, I have found that clients whose bowels are frequent, once, twice a day or more, and not perfectly firm and well formed, have higher cholesterol levels than clients whose stools are slow and hard, even constipated. Because remember, the slower, firmer the stools are, the more acidity is getting out of your body. The more acidity that gets out, the less cholesterol that is produced. So the reason a lot of diets, exercise, and supplements have failed to lower cholesterol and heart disease risk is because you could eat a diet low in cholesterol. You could drink coffee all day long. Coffee contains no cholesterol, but it's highly acidic. When that coffee comes into your body and bowel and isn't eliminated, at some point it's going to make your cholesterol levels go up. When you eat something like cheese, which I recommend, some of you are concerned that your cholesterol levels are going to go high because you've heard that wrong advice for decades now. That fat or cholesterol makes your cholesterol levels go up. That is not true. When you eat foods like cheese is very low in acidity. It also is not cleansing, which means that it doesn't cause the acids in your organs to dump into your blood. Meaning the end result of eating more cheese is the acidity of your blood is lower. Lower acids in the blood means lower cholesterol levels. Period. Period. You can use crutches like red yeast rice. Sometimes that exercise works because it can oxygenate your blood, and your body will use the oxygen to buffer the acids, and there will be less cholesterol made to do that. But I haven't found that crutch works really well. Neither have many of you. You can take a bunch of vitamins, and you can use those vitamins to attach to those acids, but they're not eliminating the acids in the first place. So that approach has very limited value and works only as long as you take those supplements every day for the rest of your life. In here, one day your bowel will eliminate the acids. One day there won't be that many in the blood in the first place. You won't have to constantly take something to clear them out of you. In this process, we are using bentonite. It is better than all those other vitamins because the bentonite will bind to the acids in your bowel, help get them out of your body so they're not reabsorbed into your blood, causing your body to produce more cholesterol. What's great, of course, about the bentonite is that, remember, a lot of the acidity in the blood comes from the old stuff that you haven't eliminated over your entire lifetime. And as long as that's sitting in the organs and isn't getting cleared out, and vitamins, acupuncture, exercise, organic diets, wheat-free diets, chiropractic, etc., they don't get old acids out of the organs. Bentonite does. So you're chipping away at the storage of acidity, so one day there's none to fly into your blood to cause those levels to go up. More importantly, it's the acids that are stored in the organs, the tissues, the arteries, that narrow them, make it hard for the oxygen to get through, and put you at risk of a heart attack. That is the most important thing to know. Almost half the people in this country who've had a heart attack had normal blood cholesterol levels at the time of the heart attack. Blood tests are a horrible indicator of your risk of a heart attack. You can have a heart scan done. Unfortunately, it costs a ton of money, and insurance companies don't want to cover that. That'll show how narrow the arteries are, but a blood cholesterol test has no relationship to that. You may have a lot of cholesterol in the blood, very little stuck in the arteries, putting at you risk of a heart attack, or you may have a very low amount of acidity in the blood and a low blood cholesterol level and a ton in the arteries, putting you at risk of a heart attack. In fact, that is what's happening on these low-carb, high-protein diets. The reason why there's lots of books written, Atkins Diet, South Beach, tons of cholesterol-reversing diets, books written that are low-carb diets, is because those low-carb diets reduce the acids going from the organs into the blood cholesterol levels go down, but it's increasing the cholesterol that's stuck in the arteries. That's what puts you at risk of having a heart attack. That's what you need to care about and be concerned about. Even the American Heart Association, which is an independent government agency that studies research, good quality, unbiased research, and has been doing this for decades, even they will tell you that to reduce your risk of heart attack, you don't want to eat a lot of protein foods. Now, hopefully you know by now, if you're going to start this program, and you start off eating protein and cut down that protein level, a bunch of acidity is going to dump in the blood. And even though that's reducing your risk of a heart attack, your blood cholesterol level is going to go up. You're going to freak out. The doctor's going to freak out. You're going to be put on cholesterol drugs, which are acidic, not the right thing to do. So be careful you don't do that. In chapter 9 of my book, This Works, Crutches Don't, I emphatically state that in the beginning of this process, you are not to reduce your protein levels. If you have a heart scan done, or have had a heart attack and your arteries are super clogged, that's a time to contact me and work with me personally, because then you fit in a whole different category, and then we don't have time, if you will, to heal the bowel and body and wait for this acidity to get out of the organs. If you aren't at risk, and I know most of you really don't know if you are or not, because all you have is a blood test done, but many of you have the time, if you will, to heal your bowel and body with these products, and do it in a way that is safe and comfortable as well as not scary. So again, if you start this program, Eat Less Protein, the acids in the organs and cells and arteries that cause heart attack are going to go into your blood cholesterol levels are going to go up, and you're going to think I'm hurting you or this program is bad for you, and we don't want that happening. So for more information about these concepts, please read my book, This Works, Crutches Don't. And if you have any questions or concerns, and or if you're doing this process and your cholesterol levels go up, it's not because of these products. It's because during this process, there's certainly an opportunity at some point that all this acidity in the organs flies into the blood, and that shows up as high cholesterol. But that doesn't mean that your risk of a heart attack has gone up. That doesn't mean that at all. In the last 17 years, I have worked with thousands of clients. Never once has one had a heart attack while I was working with them, much less died from one. I think that's a huge statistic that you should take seriously and feel very secure and safe about while you're doing this process.